Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Trades Talk. I'm with your host, Pop. A little bit late today, running a bit late, but that's all right. Finally got things all set up the way I like them. And it's good to see everyone in the chat here. We got David Glenn. We got B17. I need to just work on opening up some other windows because I always have a backup window in case Restream fails me. So I'm just going to pop out the chat here. There we go. There's that one. And I usually have this done ahead of time, but like I say, I'm running a little bit behind. It's a busy day after work today, so safety save? I have a safety save. There's always time for a safety save, that's for sure. Okay, do this. We've been getting a lot of less people spamming or spamming spam bots here ever since I did that, change it over so it's a followers only chat. That was a great suggestion that somebody gave me. It's like, do this, and then it's like, oh, all the spam bots go away. Just grabbing the chat window from Twitch right now. Just grabbing that one. Put that off to the side. Okay, that's good. And the last one will be Rumble. Get that one and grab the chat window from that. There we go. Okay, I am all set up, ready to go now. Nice. Okay. All ready to go, everybody. So let's do a little bit of what the channel's all about. Channel's all about talking about the skilled trades. And what I do here is I'll go through some of the news of the week. Then I'll check out some of the articles on shortage of skilled trades and how bad it is out there. And then we'll finish it off with some pictures, videos, stuff I've been working on. And you guys can follow along. We'll also look into a workplace accident, fatalities, as it were, and we'll look into those and see what gone wrong with one of those. So, a lot of stuff to get through. We'll get right underway here. Oh, first I got to hit the right button. There we go. All right, well, let's look at some news here, courtesy of Plant Magazine. If they are up to date at all. It looks like the last thing they did was on the 18th. And that's today. 17th, the 14th. Yeah, okay. We'll check and see if there's any news worth looking at here. Lindenmar reports $169 million profit in the third quarter, up from the previous year. EMC partners with Alberta Chamber of Commerce for supply chain pilot project. I don't know what EMC partners is. General Dynamics and BAE Systems to offer Beowulf platform to Canadian Army. Oh. And manufacturing sales are up 3% in September, the highest level since February. Hey, what's up, Tanker? How you doing? Good to see you. We're just checking out some news here. Let's see what's going on here. What this is all about. Alberta Chamber of Commerce and Excellence in Manufacturing Consortium have entered into a strategic partnership aimed at strengthening Canada's supply chains. Well, we'll be the judge of that when we see it happen. I'm not going to take their word for it. I'll wait for results. In a press statement, ACC and EMC said they will collaborate to launch a network to help enhance how Canadian manufacturers share information and verify capabilities through secure, standards-based digital infrastructure. Digital infrastructure. What could go wrong, right? The pilot will launch first in Alberta and serve as a foundation for broader national adoption in 2026. The organization said the partnership is responding directly to priorities of Alberta businesses, and that together they aim to accelerate adoption of digital tools that strengthen supply chain visibility, collaboration, and trust nationwide. According to the press release, the pilot will engage more than 300 Alberta-based EMC and ACC network member companies to test new approaches for connecting manufacturers, suppliers, and buyers through a secure, data-driven framework. The framework and data standard are interoperable with existing supply chain and member databases. Oh. Hey, Aris, how you doing? Good to see ya. Just going to have a little bit of my evening tea. All right. Key features under development include verified supplier validation, AI-supported search and data analytics, dynamic mapping of regional and sectorial capabilities, and industry-driven customization for manufacturing use cases. By leveraging their combined networks and industry knowledge, ACC and EMC said they are working to position Alberta as a leader in modern supply chain integration, enabling businesses in the province to identify opportunities, strengthen local procurement, and respond more effectively to market shifts. Sounds like a bunch of word salad. Hello, old people. Yeah, we know B17. We know. Oh, well. I mean, until I see results, this is just all talk, and it's just a pilot project, so who knows if it'll even work. They pilot project stuff to see if it actually works. Next up, General Dynamics and BAE Systems to offer Beowulf platform to Canadian. Is that what that looks like there? That funny looking machine? Look at that. Beowulf is a dual-body all-terrain vehicle that provides mobility in extreme Arctic environments. Okay. That's a mean-looking machine, though. It'd be great for taking camping. General Dynamics Land Systems and BAE Systems have signed a teaming agreement to offer the BFS-10 Beowulf platform for the Canadian Army's Domestic Arctic Mobility Enhancement Project, or DAME. In a press statement on November 17th, London, Ontario-based GDLS said teaming agreement combines BAE Systems Haglund's expertise in all-terrain vehicle design with GDLS support capabilities across Canada. Beowulf is a dual-body, all-terrain vehicle that provides mobility in extreme Arctic environments and maneuverability across mud, sand, muskeg, snow, ice, and deep water due to its amphibious capabilities. The vehicle has a drivetrain derived from the BVS-10 family, which is currently in operation in 8 nations, 6 of which are NATO member countries. Hey, what's up, Godzillionaire? How you doing? Everybody's favorite kaiju is here. Waves in old person. Yeah. GDLS is proud to bring BAE Systems Haglund's Beowulf to Canada to satisfy requirements for the DAME project, said Dave Haggerty, Vice President and General Manager of GDLS Canada. With nearly 50 years of working closely with the Canadian Armed Forces in complex project delivery and in-service support, we will ensure that the platform remains supported and relevant whenever or wherever it is stationed. Our diverse military expertise and familiarity with customer needs will deliver made-in-Canada features tailored to national requirements. Beowulf and this partnership will provide Canada assurance of DAME's success. Arctic capability is critical for Canada, said, and the Beowulf will drive both current and future strategic objectives due to its ability to operate in extreme temperatures and unforgiving landscapes, said Tommy Gustafson-Lask, Managing Director of BAE Systems Haglunds. With a hot production line and a unified supply chain, the platform ensures a long-term availability of spare parts and support for the Canadian Armed Forces while offering seamless interoperability with military units across North America. Well, there you go. That's going to be used for the military in the Arctic. That's a neat-looking little machine there. Manufacturing sales are up 3.3% since September, highest level since February. Okay, good. It's better than not making anything. Oh, well, it's a light news day, I'll say that for sure. Let's move along to some of the articles here. You guys may have heard this already. This is from Fortune magazine. Ford CEO says he has 5,000 open mechanic jobs with up to a six-figure salaries. From the shortage of manually skilled workers, we are in trouble in our country. This is the CEO of Ford saying this. Speaking on the Office Hours Business Edition podcast, Farley said Ford has 5,000 open mechanic positions that it hasn't been able to fill, despite the possibility of an eye-popping $120,000 salary, nearly double the American worker's median salary. Holy, $120,000. And that's US dollars. And it's not just Ford, said Farley. The car makers struggle to fill jobs that require training, and manual labor are indicative of a general shortage of manual labor jobs in the US, he added. You may not have a work permit yet, but you want that salary? You and everybody else there, B17. That is good pay for being a automotive technician. We are in trouble in our country. We are not talking about this enough, Farley told host Monica Langley. We have over 1 million openings in critical jobs, emergency services, trucking, factory workers, plumbers, electricians, and tradesmen. It's a very serious thing. While President Donald Trump has centered his economic agenda on bringing manufacturing back to the U.S., there remains a gap between the number of factory jobs open and the number of people willing to fill them. How do you feel about being lightly shocked, B17? Electrician is where it's at in the future. Yeah, it is. You can take it. I mean, if you work residential or commercial, you'll only get zapped by 120. You work industrial, you can get zapped by 347 or 480. You've been hit with a taser, you're not too fond of it. Yikes. And why aren't my messages coming up on Restream? This is why I put up extra windows. Extra chat windows. Restream is not showing me what YouTube is saying. All right, anyway. There are more than 400,000 manufacturing jobs open as of August, according to a preliminary data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, despite a 4.3% unemployment rate, which is higher than in previous years. A 2024 study from the Manufacturing Institute and Deloitte also found more than half of the 200 manufacturing firms surveyed said recruiting and retaining workers was their top struggle. Yet Farley said jobs in the trades like those at Ford made our country what it is and allowed people like his grandfather, who worked on the company's flagship Model T and was employee number 389 at the company, to have good lives. That's true. In the past, Ford did pay his workers pretty good money, comparatively to the rest of the workers. Farley said the company is doing better on wages. It got rid of the lowest tier of its wage scale and agreed to give workers 25% salary bump over 4 years as part of its agreement with the United Auto Workers Union in 2023. Still, part of the problem for the shortage of manufacturing jobs is the lack of education and training, according to Farley. He noted, for example, learning to take diesel engine out of a Ford Super Duty truck takes at least 5 years. Current system is not meeting that standard. Well, if your Ford Super Duty diesel was good, you wouldn't have to take it out at all. We do not have trade schools, he said. We are not investing in educating a next generation of people like my grandfather, who had nothing, who built a middle-class life and a future for his family. To be sure, younger people may be leading the charge on filling the gap in manufacturing positions. Gen Z is increasingly straying from the traditional college path and attending trade schools in an effort to avoid cumbersome student loans while also snagging a well-paying job. Enrollment in vocational school jumped 16% last year, rising to the highest level since National Student Clearinghouse started tracking data in 2018. Fortune previously reported, however, the top jobs paying more than $200,000 per year mostly require advanced degrees, according to a study by Job Platform Ladders. I'll tell you right now, you do not need a degree or college degree or anything like that to make over $200 a year. You just have to work at a trade and work overtime, and I'll tell you, you'll clean up. Just get an electric engine you can't replace and just have to throw it away. Problem solved. Mistake solved. Yes, your first problem was you bought a Ford. That was your first problem. But yeah, I get what you're saying, Godzillionaire. It's like, oh look, electric engine. Bring it in that one piece. Anyways, when the CEO is saying something, at least he's got his head out of his ass and is noticing things. But only because it's affecting him and his company. 5,000 open mechanic jobs. Here's one I saw that from the Milwaukee Community Journal. Milwaukee's in Wisconsin, right? Parents have always been on you for getting a college degree. I really don't want to because I think I can find success in welding. Yes, you can be 17. It won't take you long either, and you won't have a student debt or anything like that, like a college degree would get you into debt. But being in welding, they're going to be needing people. Try it out, though. Make sure it's what you want to do. Here goes Pop trashing Fords again. What did I just walk in on? Oh, it was just the Ford CEO saying how it takes, in order to learn how to take a diesel out of a Ford Super Duty, it takes 5 years to learn that. Hey, what's up, DJ Ronnie G? How you doing? Long time no see, man. You guys, make sure you're checking out DJ Ronnie G when he does his streaming. It's fun stuff. Pop culture began more like pop culture car critic. Yeah, it could be. I also noticed that as you get older, you don't care anymore. Whereas some people were like, "I'm a Ford guy, I'm a Chevy guy, I'm a Dodge guy." You know, after a while, you get old enough, and you're like, "I don't care anymore. Just the one that's going to run the longest with the least amount of upkeep." Okay, this is the one. The government shutdown proves we need skilled trades. Aging U.S. infrastructure, increasingly frequent natural disasters, and booming data centers don't care that the government is shut down. Real work still needs to get done. I don't know why they would say that natural disasters don't care that the government is shut down. I mean, they're not self-aware. It's a natural disaster. And also, it's not that they're getting more frequent. It's the fact that they're reporting more of them. They're reporting them more often. Whereas before, you didn't hear about everything. Now you can hear about what's going on all over the entire earth. So before, you'd have to read the newspapers, watch the news, and they wouldn't tell you about everything that's happening, all the flooding, all the whatever is going on. But now you can just tune in, you can hear all of it. Oh, that Ford CEO doesn't know his dipstick from his plug hole. 5 years is horse hockey, 8 months tops. There you go. In Kentucky, 2 inches of snow is a natural disaster. Oh, okay. I got you, David. Yeah. I guess any of those southern states, as soon as there's snow, it's just like people are panicking, or they just don't know how to drive in it, and you end up with like 100-car pileups. I'm waiting for that too when it snows up here finally. Like the first real sustained snow. I'm just waiting for that pileup on. We have a between the two major cities in Alberta, between Edmonton and Calgary, is what's called Highway number 2. And anytime there's snow, any bad weather, yep, you can guarantee there's going to be a pilot, because everyone just drives nuts on that thing. So fast. Well, political gridlock blocks funding for federal agencies, furloughs thousands of workers, and delays the collection and analysis of crucial economic data. The underlying physical infrastructure and essential services of our nation march on. We might not be able to open the government back up ourselves, but we aren't powerless either. Giving workers future-proof credentials isn't just a way to guard against political whims that ignore the real challenges we face. It's a way to maintain stability in the communities that need it most. For our skilled trades, this is the moment. You're just going to shove whatever you need for a car to pass inspection into a little tight, cozy coupe. Cheaper that way. Yeah, there you go. Buy yourself a coupe. If you're not hauling around a lot of people or any kind of stuff from hardware stores or whatever, like lumber, then yeah, you can just get yourself a small little coupe to race around in. You avoided snow so far, but when it hits, it's by the foot. Yeah. I sure hope not. A government shutdown, while disruptive, doesn't stop water mains from bursting, electricity grids from needing repair, data centers from running, or construction projects, especially those not reliant on immediate federal funding, from moving forward. Once again, I'm going to ask the question, why do we need these data centers? I bet you if a data center stopped running, it would be just fine. Even amid a shutdown, essential functions like air traffic control, border security, and certain healthcare services continue, often with essential personnel working without pay, adding immense strain to these systems. When federal funding for infrastructure projects is delayed, it creates a backlog, which will require a massive, immediate surge of labor when the government reopens. In this environment of instability, the demand for tradesmen, electricians, plumbers, HVAC technicians, welders, heavy equipment operators, and more becomes even more pronounced. These professions are the bedrock of the physical economy, operating independent of the fickle winds of Washington. We see this at the state and local level too. Take Pennsylvania, where the national nonprofit OIC of America, the organization where I serve as president and CEO, is based. The state's budget is currently 4 months late and counting. And like at the federal level, essential services are starting to see their resources dry up. You want to put snow in your CPU cooler? Ooh, icy, DJ. Real icy. AI data centers are worse than Bitcoin mining operations. I believe it. Why don't they build data centers in northern states? They saved on... Yeah. Why not Alaska? That'd be perfect, wouldn't it? In fairness, you get something out of value out of the AI data center. On the other hand, I'm not even sure if I believe my own statement aside from the Reggie movie. Yeah. DJ may or may not be AI robot right now. But the demand for infrastructure projects continues, and the supply of workers looking for another source of income besides one reliant on the government increases. We need more workers in the skilled trades, both now and once the shutdown ends. Even if the federal shutdown is recent, the U.S. economy has been grappling with a chronic skilled trades labor shortage for years. This persistent gap is driven by demographics. I've said that before, guys. 100% said it before. An aging workforce retiring in droves and a societal bias towards 4-year degrees that has de-emphasized vocational training. When businesses don't have the workers to meet demand, all communities suffer. That's why the shutdown is such a powerful case study in where economic value and job stability lie. At a time when the White House is advocating for apprenticeship programs, Fortune 500 companies are sounding the alarm about the skilled trades gap, and communities around the country have a deep desire to work and to contribute meaningfully to the economy. We finally have the opportunity to give skilled trades their due. It's up to all of us to talk about this need. Let's amplify the alarm. And that's from the Milwaukee Community Journal. So yeah, they're aware it's this shutdown. I don't know if it's over yet or not. Do you guys know if it's over yet? Is the government still shut down? All right. Let's move along here. You've always suspected that DJ was a C64 infiltration unit. Thank God his program is on a 5 1/4 floppy. Quick, somebody get a magnet. The shutdown ended last week. Thanks for the update, Fabric. Well, now we'll look at some worksite fatality investigation summaries. Let's see. I know we looked at some of these last time. It is supposedly up and running until the next continuing resolution has to be passed in February. Your dad still hasn't been reimbursed yet from the shutdown. Oh, man. Well, I hope it all gets cleared up here. What do we got here? Oh, we did that one last time. Okay, let's have a look at this one. Worker fatally injured after 2 mine haul trucks collide. So these things are huge, if these are the ones I'm thinking of. The incident is a mine haul truck was being driven up a mine pit ramp when it collided with the rear of another mine haul truck. The driver of the rear mine haul truck was fatally injured. Oh, and this is the prime contractor Suncor. So this is probably up in the oil sands by Fort McMurray, I'm sure. Yeah, here it is. It's Athabasca River near Fort McMurray. And it's even got an overhead view of the picture, the ramp they were taking. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it is. It's one of these giant mining trucks. It's like driving a house. He was loaded with 255 tons of overburdened material. No, they didn't collide head on. One guy ran into the back of another one. That's what it sounds like. Yeah, right there. Try to get a little closer picture here. I think that's where the operator's cab is. So there's the spot where it was hit. Tarek says, holy Osha, yeah. So that's where it was hit. I don't know what the second driver was, but it looks like it just ran right into the cab where he was. Weather conditions at the time of the collision were clear skies and temperature of -34. Okay, so this is in the wintertime. There was no precipitation and sunrise on the collision was listed at 9:03. Due to extreme cold temperatures during the week prior to as well as the day of the incident, visibility was impacted near operating shovels and behind haul trucks. Radio announcements were broadcast throughout the mine to be aware of steam and exhaust impacting visibility. and to increase following distance if required. Hazard assessments were completed in both the KMC and NACG operations to capture the hazards in cold weather. There it is. Oh. Oh. Oh, man. Yeah, that's awful. Like that cab is gone. Like there's supposed to be a cab right here where the operator sits, and it's pushed back here. Oof. Okay, let's go through the sequence of events. On January 5th, 2022, the night shift began work at 7:30 p.m. in the Suncor mine. A radio announcement was broadcast at 5:42 a.m. to make haul truck operators aware that ice fog was present in the mine due to cold temperatures. Worker 1 was driving the KMC truck and was being trained by Worker 2, who was sitting in the jump seat. They were hauling loads of overburden material during their 12-hour shift, with their last load of 255 tons taken from the Suncor shovel at 5:56 a.m. on January 6th. The distance from the Suncor shovel to the collision impact point was approximately 400 meters, so not very far away, about 300 yards. Tires the size of your kitchen. Yep, you got her, DJ. Worker 3 was driving the NACG truck and was hauling pad material during their 12-hour shift. Their last load was 213 tons. It was taken from the NACG shovel at 6:01 a.m. on January 6th. The distance from the shovel to the collision impact point was approximately 2,100 meters. Shortly after 6 a.m. on January 6th, the KMC truck was traveling up the east top cut ramp. The NACG truck was behind the KMC truck traveling up the same ramp. At 6:05, the KMC truck experienced an amber warning light indicating low fuel pump delivery. A call was made to the KMC supervisor, who instructed the operator to dump the load and proceed to truck maintenance. According to GPS data, a collision between the KMC truck and NACG truck occurred at 6:06 a.m. The last reported speed of the KMC truck was approximately 8 kilometers an hour, so about 5 miles an hour. Truck was approximately 14 meters from the right side berm at the time of the collision. The last recorded speed of the NACG truck was approximately 39 kilometers an hour. So this guy wasn't paying attention. He was just giving her for all it was worth, and he didn't see that truck ahead of him. The NACG truck was approximately 7 meters from the right side berm at the time of the collision. The NACG truck collided with the rear of the KMC truck. Workers 1 and 2 in the KMC truck sustained non-life-threatening injuries as a result of the collision. Worker 3 and the NACG truck sustained fatal injuries as a result. A review of enforcement action was completed on February 16th, and it was determined that the prosecution or administrative penalty were not appropriate based on the circumstances surrounding this incident. Okay, well, they were able to track and see how fast the guy was going. So this guy was speeding. This guy was going 8 kilometers an hour because he was having trouble with his fuel pump. And this guy just crammed into him. Surprised there's overload because they usually have loadmasters to prevent this. Was it a union site? That is tough to say. I think Suncor is union. Need your glasses? Grab your glasses, Fabric. Come on. Yeah, the prime contractor was Suncor. Contracting employer number 1 was the KMC Mining Corporation. Contractor number 2 is North American Construction Group. So it was two different companies, 2 different trucks. So worker 1 had been employed with KMC for a month as a haul truck operator trainee, and he was in the process of completing their last mine haul truck training session with worker 2. Worker 1 was driving the haul truck mine at the time of the incident. Worker 1 was on their second night shift and 8th shift of a 6-day, 6-night, 6-off schedule. Worker 2 had been employed for 6 years as a mine haul truck operator and had 14 years of experience operating heavy equipment. Worker 2 was in the jump seat. Worker 2 is also on their second night shift and 8 of 8. It's hard to describe how big those trucks are. Yes, Godzillionaire. Yep, Suncor Oil Sands. I've said it before. It's like driving your house. If you put your house on some wheels, that's what driving these trucks is like. So the third worker, the guy that received the fatality, he'd been employed with NACG for 2.5 years as a mine haul truck operator and had over 20 years of previous experience operating heavy equipment. He was trained in the operation of a mine haul truck and was driving the mine haul truck at the time of the incident. He was on the first night shift and 8th shift of a 7-day, 7-night, 7-off schedule. Okay. So he had lots of experience. The east top cut ramp was located on Suncor Millennium Mine and is the main connector from the active mine lower pit areas to the upper pit dump areas. The ramp was designed and constructed according to current mine industry standards. It was approximately 664 meters long and averaged 51 meters wide on an 8% grade. The ramp was composed of graded gravel with berms on either side and was oriented approximately northwest to southeast. The ramp was designed and built for two-way mine haul truck traffic. There was a cautionary traffic sign located at the top of the ramp that indicated 20 kilometers per hour speed limit and an 8% grade for mine haul trucks descending the ramp. At the time of the incident, the ramp was dry, graded, gravel was clear of debris. Both trucks were traveling up the ramp at the time of the collision. The minimum following distance for good conditions was 4 truck lengths. Stopping on the ramp was prohibited except in an emergency. Okay. So there's the trucks. There's a pickup truck there. I don't know if you can see that. That thing is so tiny. Yeah. So he hit the back. There it is there. Ugh. Tis a mine. A mine. Yeah, just a tiny little pickup truck there, DJ. But yes, that's awful. From what I understand, DJ, there is no like traditional transmissions. I think it's diesel electric, so it's just like a locomotive. You'll have your diesel engine driving electric generators, and each axle has its own electric motor. So I believe that's how they do it. Yeah, that is awful. What a way to go. And it looks like I said, the guy was speeding. The last recorded speed of the truck was 39 kilometers an hour, so he was going much faster than he should have been. And we don't know if he was paying attention or not. Diesel electric is very mature technology. Submarines, locomotives, yeah, exactly. You do need a you'll use a front end loader, I think, to change the tires. It'll have a special attachment on it that grabs those things and lifts them off, puts them on. So yeah. But yeah, look at that. That's yeah, that guy, he got crushed. But it looks like they put the wheel chocks out there just to keep it from rolling back. But yeah, look at that, just mangled. just make sure you guys don't get distracted. This might have been caused by distracted driving. We're not sure. They don't say really what the cause was. They just sort of document what happened and what led up to it. And from the, I guess, black boxes or whatever, they could tell how fast these guys were traveling at the time, at the point of impact. Oof. Yeah, not the way I'd want to go. Okay, so now that that's all taken care of, let's go to do some picture time. How about that? We'll do picture time, but first, I have in my stream title, what's Tribology? I know some of you might know what Tribology is, and some of you might not. And I'm going to tell you what Tribology is. Tribology is the science and engineering of understanding friction, lubrication, and wear phenomena for interacting surfaces in relative motion. It's highly interdisciplinary, drawing on academic fields including physics, chemistry, material science, mathematics, biology, and engineering. The fundamental objects of study in tribology are tribosystems, which are physical systems of contacting surfaces. Subfields of tribology include biotribology, nanotribology, and space tribology. It is also related to some areas such as coupling of corrosion and tribology and tribocorrosion, and the contact mechanics of how surfaces in contact deform. Approximately 20% of the total energy expenditure in the world is due to impact of friction and wear in the transportation, manufacturing, power generation, and residential sectors. So there you go. Tribology. Comes down to it when you think about it, it's lubrication in its basic form. But it's the science and engineering of understanding friction, lubrication, and wear. So there's a reason why I asked, what's tribology? It involves two women is all you know. Not that kind, David. The study of tribbles? Close. The study of lube and friction. You could say you're a professional tribologist. We could say that. But then we'd be lying. All right. Let me get ready here. Bust out the pictures. I'll do this and this. Just gotta get set up here. Bring that in a little closer. There we go. Then we'll just capture that. There we go. So we had our first snowfall today. So as it was snowing, I walked out with the old body cam just to have a look around. You can see it's not sticking to the sidewalk or anything like that, so that's a good sign. But it is falling as I'm taking this video. A little bit of ice there. A little bit of slush. Yeah, I'm just getting a general look at it. It's hard to see the individual flakes falling, but what is that white stuff? That's the dreaded 4-letter word here. Okay, there you go. Now, so that was the first snowfall, but it melted and it went away. And so we'll see what happens next. Okay, that was just okay, so next up is let's get this one. This will be about the tribology here. There we go. Now I'm going to show you guys how you get oil samples while a machine is running. It was 28 degrees C here yesterday. Oh, you lucky guy, you. That's great. And it's hit everywhere but Park County. Okay. All right, here we go. I'm trying to get my camera clipped onto my suit here. There we go. I got my laser finder on there. We'll get that thing settled in. There we go. All right. So you put down your absorbent pad just to make sure you don't get oil everywhere. And this is the compressor that we're going to take an oil sample from. Yeah, I've got my laser. All right. This is how you get your sample with your tube here. You put it in there. There we go. Remove the valve cover. "28 degrees Fahrenheit here? Ugh, that's terrible, B17. Okay, there we go. That's the oil sample container. So you get that out. Take that, put that down there. Okay. Time to give that a bit of a loosen. And then we'll watch that thing get filled up. It's finger looking good. Oh yeah. That was me, it's my bad. I had my alarm go off. We have these special radios that if they tip over, the alarm goes off. Here we go. I've got my oil sample. Make sure it's filled up to the fill line. It even says fill line. Now we tighten up our valve. Now because that one was running, it's about as close as a pup gets to head. Okay, you take that, you put that in there. And there we go. Now it's time for the next one. remove that. We let it drain out. That's why we have our absorbent pad, because it's able to absorb the oil and we don't get it all over. And now we're going to do this one. Take that. Put your absorbent pad down there. Grab the next oil sample bottle. We'll take off the excess. Give it a good turn there. There we go. Now, because this compressor is not running, there's no pressure in the crankcase, so it is going to drain very slowly. Takes a bit. It's not warm or anything like that, so the oil is going to flow quite slowly. So we just let it do its thing. It's a very slow trickle for this one, whereas the other one was quite quick. Wrench that bolt. Wrench it! So I try to get it flowing as much as possible. It reminds you of the Godzilla movie where they froze the island with Godzilla and his son. 28°C temps you mentioned. Ah, yes. Yeah, that's an absorbent pad. It's not exactly a shop towel, David. It's more robust. It's exactly for oil spills and such. And it can absorb a lot of oil before it becomes saturated. Hey, what's up, gal? Guten Tag, man. Smash the like, he says. Yeah, I'm just doing a little bit of what's called tribology. So I will take these oil samples from the compressors and send them away. And the reason you send them away is so they can do all their analysis, but you can find out how your equipment is, whether it's having trouble or breaking down or anything like that. They can look into if there's particles of a certain type of metal, they can be like, well, your bearings are wearing out, or you've got something wrong here. You've got a bronze bushing that's something that's going on. Lurking for support, man. Hey, appreciate the lurk, Cal. Appreciate it. But yes, you can find out all sorts of things, and they will test for all kinds of material they find in the oil. Obviously, you tell them the type of oil that you're using. And the stuff here is called, it's made by Summit, and it's called PGI 150. So PGI 150 is what they use in the compressors. And those compressors are used for compressing propane for our cooling systems. So we use propane as a refrigerant, and it's unstenched propane, by the way, and it's being used as a refrigerant to cool down the process to help condense the parts that need condensing. Tribology, you expected more flannel and hairy legs? Well, I hate to disappoint there, Fabric. So yeah, this did take a while to fill up. But oil looks really good to me. I mean, we always get 2 oil samples per year. Once before shutdown and once after shutdown. So you send them in and you're always getting an update as to the condition of your machine. making sure we're not having any. You can catch things before they become catastrophic. Is what happens here is you can find out if there's something going on. I'm sure they run it through a filter and they can filter out all the impurities and be like, well, you've got this much of this and this much cadmium and this much nickel and this much of whatever, and they can tell you whether that's normal or it's excessive. And we're always looking for the excessive stuff. If it's normal wear and tear, then that'll be fine. So yes, this was the exciting part of my day, was waiting for this thing to fill up. Not allowed to complain. You were 30 minutes late. Nothing was going on other than odd old men. That's okay, Fabric. You thought it was Monday all day? Wow, you lost a day somewhere. So we're getting close. It's getting close to the fill line. So yeah, this is what the compressor looks like. Pretty rock solid design, built really, really robust. You got quite a large motor driving it. There's the other one. You run one at a time, and one's a backup, so you can always alternate. So yeah, a bottle in a bottle. So I'll put a cap on that clear one and put it in the blue one. Then there's a paper to fill out. So you, whichever laboratory you're sending it to, you write in, where it's from, what it's doing, and what type of oil it is, and all that, and they will send you back a report. So as we go along here, there we go. Close to being done. I've got the wrench ready. The lids are there. So we'll turn it off, shut the valve. We don't want to make a big mess. Give that a tighten, put the cap on. Take that out, let it drain the rest of it into that bottle. There we go. Take that spigot, wrap it up in some shop towel so it doesn't leak all over your tool bag. And we'll put this away. There we go. Oh, we'll wipe up any oil that's left behind. Have I got a video where you shine the laser through the oil? It looks cool when it happens. I could do that. I mean, I didn't specifically shoot the oil, but I've got one more. Now that we did those two compressors there, it's time to do these compressors. These ones are not on the ground. These ones are up in the air. Or I shouldn't say up in the air, but they're elevated. There we go. So these ones, you got to do things a little differently. We'll put in our spigot here into the quick coupler. You might see a lot of, it's under pressure, so there's going to be a lot of foaming and a lot of bubbles. Okay, we got enough. And we just empty it out. Scrubbing bubbles. There you go. You can see right there. There's a good thing. Good shot of it there with all the bubbles. The air entrained in the oil. So that was the compressor that was running. So that's why everything came out very fast. And now we'll go over to the other one. This one's not running, but it's not as slow as the other one was, that's for sure. Plug that in there. We'll get another sample bottle. You love bananas. All right. There we go. So this one's filling up much faster than that other one. There we go. And this one's not running. Just draining the rest of it in there. Yeah, like that. There we go. And I think I'm going to show you guys. I think I grabbed it and can show you what it looks like when it's running. So you look in there, there's the sight glass. You can see the oil in there, and right in here, up close and personal with the shiv. And the motor, just giving it a look over here. You can see the belt is wobbling up and down a bit. And then, did I go over and show you that one? No, that was it. So there you go. That is getting samples from machinery that's running. So there's always a way. Got to be, have the facilities for it. See, you're with it. You know Gwen Stefani. Does she sing about bananas? All right. I believe that's all I got for videos for you guys. Now that shutdown's over, everything's back to up and running. We are full speed ahead making product. You guys hear that MTV finally died? Really? Honestly, MTV died when they stopped showing music videos. I mean, when they started doing all that, what do you call it? Reality television, I just didn't care. But yeah. They used to be cool and hip. You feel like you know who Gwen Stefani is? Oh no. She too old for B-17? It died the day they launched Real World? Oh. Good point, David. Yeah. Yeah, it was sad. We had Much Music in Canada. So that was like the Canadian version of MTV. It was called Much Music. And yeah, it was really good. But right now there's channels we get on our cable channels that is all 80s music all the time. There's 70s, there's 80s, there's 90s. And I keep it on the 80s station, so it's good. It's all music videos from the 80s. It's probably B-17's grandmother. Well, all right, guys. That's gonna be it for the night. Sorry if you're making you guys feel like fossils, but I don't know who that is. That's okay. I know who that is, and I don't care. That's what it's like. When you get older, you just don't care. Nor are we related. Well, I just want to thank you guys for stopping by tonight. People such as David Glenn and B-17. And Tanker was here. Also Aris. And everyone's favorite kaiju, Godzillionaire. Fabric Folds, of course. Everyone with everyone's favorite profile picture. DJ Ronnie G was here. And I believe I saw Carl from the RNG podcast. You guys should tune into Carl. He's got some good guests that he's able to get. And yours truly is actually going to be on one of his shows next week. So if you're so inclined, tune into Carl next week on Thursday, and I'll be there. We're going to talk about the Intellivision. So I hope you guys are tuned in for that. Please do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, follow, all that kind of good stuff. Spread the word, let everybody know what pops here. And when I'm not streaming, you can tune into these people that I watch too, like Pacific 414 and DJ Ronnie G. And Brandon the Anime Guy. And Carl, as I mentioned before. Tune into Carl at the RNG podcast. Also Punk Waddle, everyone's favorite penguin. You could also watch Infinite Metal. And Call Me Kixie. She's a great VTuber over on Twitch. Time to return to your usual vegetative state. Well, I hope we've enlightened you a little bit, B-17. And I hope you do well getting a welding job. Yeah, it was a good talk, DJ. I'm glad you liked it. I had a pleasure bringing it to you guys. You guys make it a fun time to stream here. You ask a lot of questions, and I try to provide a lot of answers. Well, don't forget, coming up, everybody, on Saturday, Retro Game Day, I'm switching up now. I finished Legend of Zelda Oracle of Ages. Now I'm moving on to the PlayStation 2, and it's going to be a little game called Odinsphere. So come join me until we play Odinsphere. You're not corrupting B-17 by telling him the Hillary-back girl video. She sings in a bind uniform with a very short skirt because you're a responsible adult. Or you're gonna watch your shit post from last year? Yeah, hope you get good enough to or you're successful in becoming a welder, B-17. I'd like to see that. But yes, Saturday, PS2, Odinsphere. Stop on by. This game looks fantastic. For being on the PS2, that's a great. It's a great looking game, and we're going to go through it. I'm going to play with the Japanese language so we can hear all the excellent voice acting. Then on Sunday, Anime Chat, more sports anime for you. Stop on by. We're going to see which sports will it be this time. Last time it was golf and basketball, but what's it going to be this time? I don't do Thursday streams, B-17. That's DJ Ronnie G. He does the Monday show on Thursday. Then after Sunday, it's Tuesday again. More trades talk, more looking at things from an industrial point of view, and more pictures and videos of doing things on the job. And I hope to see you guys all there. You're still waiting for Keijo? Who knows? Maybe it'll get tossed in there. We'll have to see. Yeah, DJ, you called that to avoid confusion? Whole chat's going to be interrogated by police to figure out what we know about fabric. Yes, DJ, because it used to be the Monday show, but then you moved it to Thursday. So it's the Monday show on Thursday. When you moved to Thursdays, you didn't want people to be confused, so I named the Monday show on Thursday. Yes, that's the exact 100%. DJ streams on Thursdays. All right, fellas, I had a fun time. I hope you did too, and I hope to see you the next time I'm streaming. But until then, I've been Pop, and I am signing off.